Robb Stiz Grimy back in the house.
Stiz Grimy, yo, go subscribe to my boy. Again, I'll put the link in the description. Shout out to Ample Thought, who already subscribed, and I don't know if a few others. To my brother, if you're gonna watch this, everybody go to Stiz Grimy. I promise you, I will get him being active. You'd be great at YouTube Shorts, bro.
Oh, thank you. I know.
I wish if I saw you throughout the week, I would force you to do them because I'm like, yo, Stiz got that like minute wisdoms.
Well,
you know?
I did just hook up the Scarlet Focusrite that has been collecting dust.
Yo.
For like the past year. So after last week's conversation, I dusted that fucker off, and I'm like, you know what, man, I want to start.
What are you planning on?
I don't know. I think there's probably some music in my future, and then podcasting and, just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Like, I don't even know. Maybe even if I don't even release anything, but I just want to start creating and then go from there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Appreciate Hallelujah, bro.
Yeah. You were definitely an inspiration in that.
Well, no, let me just say this. All this talk about AI, robots taking over. I'm like, what the fuck good is robots, robotics, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, machine learning if they can't learn to do dumb stuff like farming? Like I was just reading an article about how like most of the farming that like the seeding and plowing fields can be done by these robotics that can be like controlled from an iPad. So they can send the heavy farm machine out to just do the work. They don't need a physical driver. And I was like, that's where like, yo, we got to inspire these farmers to start writing about stories about dudes living on the farm and cowboys. It's like humans need to be the creative force behind art, poetry, rap, movies, all that. Let the machines do the simple shit. This is why I don't understand why they're coming to replace us. I'm like, yo, have you ever, an honest question, have you ever asked Chat GPT? I think that's the one I used to write a joke.
No, but I did have it write me a recommendation letter from a certain radio host that we used to work with.
Okay, and a recommendation letter, I'm only guessing because it's like template form, was it was probably very passable, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So this is where like if you, and I challenge anyone to try this, go ask it to like, I had a huge debate with it about Jesus, and it kept trying to tell me like I can't get into theoretical stuff. I pull from the internet. Yeah. It's like really trying to not argue with me. So I was like, all right, fuck it, write some jokes. And I kept asking it to write different jokes and giving it premises. And every joke felt like AI wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. But it is only going to get better. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I mean, that's what that's what the writer's strike pretty much is what's going on now is they're like, yo, like we want it set in stone that you guys are not going to use AI to write, episodes, monologues, etc. And the studios are pretty much like, we're not ready to make
that. You know what I think the studios are doing? They're probably over, having people work overtime to test those waters.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw the greatest sign on the strike on the picket line.
Oh, the sign.
Did you see the one where it said this woman was holding it up and it said AI doesn't have like childhood trauma, so they can't write good?
Good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
And I saw that and I was like, yo, it doesn't matter what they can get AI to creative or to create. It's that like, the truth is always stranger than fiction kind of motto. So I just don't ever think as good as it will get, as complex as it be able to hypothesize and theorize and feel or whatever, it's just never going to outdo humanity.
I read an article earlier this week that they have already developed radio AI, like radio GPT or something, whatever, and it's already being implemented. Now, the article that I read, the guy who created this software claims that he's not trying to replace humans, that it's going to be just a tool for hosts to use, like an addendum to their show. But
yeah, what did it do?
It hosts, bro. I actually heard live examples of it, and it's like, hey, this is Dave. That was Stained.
Yeah, because I was gonna say they already got that. Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
He's getting a show in the UAE, the Arab Emirates or whatever, and that proves that he's just a generic. He is AI. You know,
Yeah.
he says he just has like the influence of a. It's like if you made an AI Tupac, right, and said AI Tupac's going to do a hip hop show on Sirius, which this is
Yeah.
probably in like 10 years. Um, People will listen, even though it's fake. It's you know what I mean? Like they're well aware Tupac died. They're just listening because it like they can mimic his voice or whatever.
That happened already at Coachella when they brought out the hologram Tupac. People were fucking into that. You know what I mean?
Losing it.
Yeah. I mean, it looked cool. I don't know if I'd spend money to go see a Tupac hologram concert, but it looked cool.
It looked amazing.
Yeah, it
And
did.
the way they and because he says, I've watched that a few times since, he says, "What's up, Coachella?" He says things that there's no way he said
Exactly.
before. So it's very eerie. It's very like he's here. I'm sure his family was probably a little spooked by it because it's just a weird thing to witness. But my point is like, yo, that's what a lot of radio is,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
just people that this is why, like, when I look for jobs, they say we don't want line card readers. And that for anyone who's not in radio, it means like usually the station gives you these note cards that tell you all the promotions. They don't want people just reading those, but
Yeah.
that's what 90% put on Kiss 108 between 9:50 and 5 in the afternoon and tell me that if they don't just tell you the weather, tell you the traffic, tell you who's talking, and then tell you what song's next, it's like, what's the fucking point of radio then? You
All
know?
Don't forget, all this week is the cash prize giveaway. Win 20,000 and a trip to Aruba.
That's all radio. Yeah, I was listening to radio. I forget where I was. Uh I was at the 7-Eleven down the street. And literally, this lady that was on the air, it was so bad. She goes, "Do you see the red smog in the air? It's amazing how the whole world is a domino effect." And then she goes, "And then this is," I forget what was the next song, and
Yeah.
just went into the next song. And I was like, yo, this is mind numbing. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on? And
Hey,
that's all radio is.
yeah, backing up real quick, you were saying I didn't hear this though that Seacrest got a radio gig out in the UAE. Dude, it's crazy how much like the UAE is like getting into entertainment, sports entertainment. Like I don't know if you saw the whole Tiger Woods controversy and the PGA controversy. So do you know about Live Golf?
Oh, I think I just, no, I don't, but
Okay,
go on.
I can sum it up pretty quickly. So the UAE started this golf association called Live, and they were trying to poach PGA players, and they were offering big dollars. Some PGA players took the money and went to play with Live, and at the time the PGA was like, dude, if you go over there, like, goodbye, fuck you, you're not playing with us anymore, right? So they offered Tiger Woods $800 million to come over to Live. He turns it down, right? And at the time, the owner of the PGA or the president of the PGA is doing all these pressers, and he's like, you know, like think about families of 9/11, like because like the Saudi Arabia definitely had a hand in 9/11, and so he's like, he's like pulling that card, and he's like, if you're a PGA player, you would never have to feel embarrassed about being a PGA player. So Tiger Woods turns down the 800 million. News broke yesterday or the day before. The PGA is merging with Live. So yeah, unfucking believable, unbelievable. And
Wait,
so
so is, hold on. Is the Live buying out PGA or is it the other way around? Did you read?
let's do a quick search.
Because the funniest thing about that is like, yo, 9/11, I guess, but if you really want, I mean, only because we're talking about 22 years ago, you could just reference like, what's it, the Crown Prince?
Who
The
got
Crown Prince. There was a whole like Netflix, I forget what Netflix show with oh god, I'm blanking on his name. But
the
there's been like a bunch of stuff with the Crown Prince, the dude who had that guy murdered. And right now I can't.
Yeah, the journalist Khashoggi or something like.
So yeah, so that's, I mean, a very like, you don't want to associate with that. It's just like the Saudis own Twitter right now. They were the major backers for Elon,
Oh,
and
really?
they are notoriously for not. I don't know. It's like they ain't about free speech. You know what I mean? The fact that Elon's like, we're the free speech platform. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, you're owned by the Saudis. I'm sure if there was a big movement against the Saudis, it would be silenced very quickly.
They're like, they're literally throwing gay people off of buildings over there, and yet, like the WWE is all in bed with them now. Now the golf, and they're, like,
Yo, if you ever get the time, just do it for fun. It's weird at how many celebrities, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all these like, A-list cats that go over there for like private functions, private parties, and get paid a boatload.
well, they have like unlimited money, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yo, so the Seacrest thing, real quick, before you find out who's buying out who, because I doubt it's the PGA buying it out. I feel like the UAE, if they have their own golf thing, they could buy anyone, you
yeah,
know. But Seacrest, I just read it was like with the past 2 weeks, he's going to be like the first American hosting a top 40. I think it's a top 40 show over there, which is crazy weird because you got to think about how edited his content now has to be. If you've ever heard Seacrest, he's very milk toast. That's why he's on
yeah,
every station. That's why he's syndicated everywhere because he's so generic. I'm Ryan Seacrest. Hey, did your dog poop in the yard?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're going to talk about that next. Here is, Alicia Keys. That's like his whole show, just on repeat.
And your kids remind you last minute of a project that's due the next day.
How'd you solve it? We'll talk to you in 20. That's literally what his show is. But when you consider like what Islamic law is, what the rules are over there, because it's so for like, I don't even think some people would believe it, but
Yeah,
he's going to have to be like, I was like, yo, Ryan Seacrest is basically rated R, you know, to that audience, and all that's going to be tweaked. And a side note on that, about 8 years ago, 7, I applied for that job. They've
see,
had that job. Yeah, they've been trying to get someone to host the CHR, and I applied, and I forget what happened. I don't really remember what happened with them. I know I got some kind of response, but after talking to my wife, it was like, that's not a place we would move. Didn't matter the money. That's like one of those, because I really had to research it.
yeah, yeah. To
I
me,
don't think I would have got it, but
yeah, to me, what's wild is like the juxtaposition of like picturing Ryan Seacrest. Like you have a woman who like cannot not wear a hijab, right? Like probably not even able to drive. I don't even know if they're able to drive in Saudi Arabia, women. And it's like so like just a weird juxtaposition of like all those kind of like social atrocities that are going on, and then you got like Cardi B on in the background. It's just
right.
so bizarre. It's
Well, I'm
so
gonna have to follow up on this because you know what's weird? The girl that's on his show, Sissany, if you look up his show, I'm pretty sure she's still on. I started with her in San Diego.
no shit.
It was me, this girl, Sarah, and Sissany that were the 3 overnight board ops. So we were all doing like the overnight shift. And I think Sissany was like even on air at that point. Like she had gone way ahead of me. She was already putting in her work. But we were all kind of coming up at the same time where she was like getting on morning shows when I did, and she was hosting and she did a ton of stuff. But it's so weird now because I see like, Ryan Seacrest will promote or tweet something, and I'm like, yo, that's Sissany, like little Sissany that
Yeah.
like, so. And now I don't know if he's taking her, if it's him solo, but you're right, it's such a weird thing where it's like they're trying to introduce that. I don't know if it's a sign of forward progression or if it's like some massive way for Seacrest and them to make money.
Well, yeah, I think
And
it's that, and I think it's Saudi Arabia trying to mask the fact of like what they do over there, trying to put up this like
well, he's not in Saudi Arabia. It's the United Arab Emirates, which is like this little, you know what I mean? It's like it's in between all of that, but and that's where like I don't know the specific. I just know it's much different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like it's a weird concept to try and make that fly, and he ain't doing the show live from there. You know,
No.
there ain't no way that that cat's trying to live out there because it is a different world. Religion. It's so funny because I always think of the nut Christians in
Yeah.
this country that are like, we need the 10 Commandments in school, and we need what I'm like, bro. You sound like the people in the Middle East because they
Yeah.
live under religious law. I'm
Hmm.
like, that's the antithesis of what this country was supposed to be. And the fact that I don't know,
Yeah.
it's a it's a weird, weird thing.
Yeah, it's like Sharia law. They have the moral police out there. They have literally a police force called well, this is Iran that I'm talking about, but
Yeah, because wasn't there the couple that did a TikTok or something where they kissed on a bridge? Was that in Iran? You didn't see that? This was like time. Uh
hey, no. Oh, do I have to? I'm gonna freeze, huh?
oh. You're already gone.
No. All right, hold on. Let me exit real quick.
All right, do what you got. Oh, I'm so glad Stiz is getting his this is always weird when he leaves and I like just talk to the live thing. And there's no one on it right now, but if you're watching this is like a weird thing. I feel like this is one of those sitcoms where remember when Zach Morris used to go timeout and he'd talk right to the camera, he'd break the fourth wall. I feel like this is a weird thing that happens during all the lives. Like Stiz has to go do something, and I'm left to all right, he's back. Let me get him in here. Oh my god, did I just all right. Yo, you know what I was just saying? Do you remember in Saved by the Bell when Zach Morris would go timeout?
I never got into that show.
Oh, thank God, because
I,
Zach Morris was a
I,
dick.
yeah, I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine. I never got into Saved by the Bell.
All right, do you remember the show? I forget what it was called, where that the chick. This was an early '80s show. A chick used to go like this and freeze time, and her dad was an alien.
No.
I don't know what it's called. I'll look it up. But not kidding. That was a real show. And she'd
Yeah.
go like this and freeze time. And then I don't know what was with this in all the '80s shows, but every '80s show they could freeze time to break the fourth wall, and
Mhm.
like talk to the camera, be like, "Yo, what do I do here?" And
Yeah.
I was just saying because like I think last week too, you disconnected for a minute. This week you disconnect. And I go, I feel like this is that time where I'm like timeout, and I get to talk to the audience because I don't know what to do. I'm like, we're in mid conversation. All of a sudden, I'm like, hey,
Oh,
it's just me.
that's funny. Yeah.
But yo, we got like what? Like we got like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. What do you want to talk about? Did you
You
see what?
no, go ahead. You rattle some shit off.
Well, because there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about, but it's more evergreen. Something that just happened. I think it was yesterday. Is Cornel West is running for president. Did
That's
you
in
see his announcement thing?
no, no, no.
Yo, he's saying all the right stuff. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I met dude. So remember when we used to work at 20 Guest Street? Okay. So this is when I was producing the afternoon show, because but so others know, there was a bunch of other businesses in that
Yeah,
building. And in fact, there was something like WGBH had some shit in that building and whatever.
they were
So
across the street. Remember, Frontline was in that building. Remember the producer we met for Frontline? You were like, "Yo, I love your stuff."
yeah, yeah, yeah. So one day I'm just going down in the elevator and I go out to the lobby and there's Cornell West. And I was like, oh my God. And like I want and I'm like, Mr. West, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but I'm a really big fan. Like, do you think I could get a quick picture with you? And he was gracious enough to he took a picture with me and I'm like, I don't know what you got going on. I'm like, but I produce a radio show upstairs. Like, I don't know if you'd have time to come on for a couple minutes. And he was like, nah, I can't. Like, I'm waiting for an Uber. So whatever. So, but yeah, I met that guy. It was really cool.
Yo, okay. Two things immediately. One is like, this is why you are so underutilized in radio. And
Yeah.
this is for real. Like, if anybody's listening and you use a radio show, no shit. I I worked with Stiz, and he don't care where he is. He will toss it out there in the most genuine. Like
Yeah.
that was the thing for me. Like I never knew how to do it in like a way where it's like, how do I infringe? And you always made it so like conversational that it never seemed out of line. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. You try to toe that line. I know, but
Well, because there are producers, and I'm talking like I don't know. I don't want to drop names right now, but there is a producer who like specialized in like scummy ways to trick people into doing things.
Yeah, yeah.
He's in the Radio Hall of Fame, so that should tell you there's only one producer in there. But his whole thing was like how I tricked celebrities into like getting on the show. And I always felt like I was like, that's why I'm not a good producer. I couldn't trick people into that. I feel like that establishes a breach of trust right away.
Yeah.
Um, but the
I
other thing is, yo, so hold on. So is Cornel West like Brother Stan, or you know what I mean? Was he the full Cornel West, or was he like done with something, leaving?
Yeah, it was like he was done with something and leaving. So, we didn't, I didn't really get that side of him. Um,
Yeah.
but you could tell, like, through conversation, like in very brief conversation I had, like, oh, that's Cornel West. Like, that's the guy I watch on TV, like with Bill Maher. Like, that's the guy, you know what I mean? And then the
He's brilliant. He has a podcast on YouTube called The Tightrope. I don't know if they're still doing it. They were doing it a couple years ago. And to listen to that man, that's why I was saying like his announcement video and the other video I watched, um, he's very much doing what you need to do to be a third party and saying like this corporate duopoly,
yeah,
the Republicans and the Democrats are the same thing. And
yeah,
he's like, and we got it, and everything basically aligned with that, which I was like, the dude's smart.
yeah, he has absolutely no chance. But I mean, yeah,
Listen, the powers that be will not let this happen. Okay. The Walmart, Amazon mega donation, like Disney, like that's why I hate the presidency. I just wish, I forget what comic said it, George Carlin or something. I'm like, I just wish these fools would like the sponsorships were different. So you could just see on their jackets, like Disney,
yeah.
Amazon, like these are like, what's his name? The, not Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. His daughter is like one of the highest up Amazon people.
No, but I believe it. I
Well,
believe.
but I never knew like that she was like that close, like in Amazon. And I was like, yo, how is this fair? Like people don't stand a chance when your dad's in the government and you work for Jeff Bezos. It's like, of course they're fucking sitting over dinner being like, what's going to benefit us the best?
And I'm sure some of that stuff takes place to a degree, but Chuck Schumer's been in government, friggin' forever. So like the fact that he got his daughter a good job, like, doesn't really surprise me. You know what I mean? And honestly, like, if I was like if miraculously somehow I was able to like make it big in radio and I had like a nice radio job and I could pull some strings and get my kid like a nice job, like I definitely would. You know
Yeah,
what I
but what I'm not talking about the good job aspect. What I'm talking about is
Backdoor.
Jeff Bezos telling his daughter, or telling Schumer's daughter, like, hey,
Yeah.
we really need the government to ease up on that. You know what I mean? It's like, that's great if they all get a good job. But for real, like, that kind of mega corporation and government shouldn't have those
Yeah.
close ties around the dinner table. Hold on one second, buddy. Okay. I'll be right there.
I, ideally, but yeah, that kind of stuff is hard to stop. But I hear.
Yo, you got to go and I got to go, right?
I'm gonna watch this Cornel West announcement video though when I get home tonight. I want to see this.
Well, you know what? The announcement one is quick. What I just sent you is on Democracy Now's YouTube channel. They interviewed him, and
Oh
he was just rattling off. I forget. I didn't even finish the whole interview, but I was listening. I was like, this is everything I expected to hear. It's like he's really playing into the audience, like the disavow, or the whatever the dis word is. The disassociated, the disgruntled working class.
yeah,
That's the angle.
nice. Yeah,
Let's see if it, like you said, it's like I'm already reading articles about people going for like the neck with him, just being like, oh, he doesn't think this is going to detract from Biden and elect Trump. Like that's the whole argument. It's
yeah,
not about politics. It's not about policies. It's not about the people. It's just, this is what's getting Trump elected. You can thank him for it. They're already blaming him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which I'm like, shit, if that doesn't tell us the state of this country, that if anybody else decides to run without the chosen two,
Yeah,
we're screwed. It's like,
yeah,
and that's
but
why kids don't vote.
yeah, but when push comes to shove, I definitely do not want Trump in there again. So I don't even know, but I hate Biden too. So it's
Yeah, they're both all. That's what I mean. Like Cornel West, watch that interview because I don't, I think he's genuine.
yeah. Oh yeah,
He'll Listen, I'll say this too. He'll 100% get my vote because I can't vote for Trump or Biden. I can't do that lesser of two evils. I
Yeah.
need someone who at least understands what he said. We'll end on this. You have to watch that because he said to disassemble or something. I'm paraphrasing, but to disassemble the military industrial complex machine, you have to do it from the inside. Which that's a loose phrasing. He worded it much better, but when he said, I was like, "Yo, this is going to be like the people's hero," Because when you're talking like that, like let me get in there and let me just tear all this apart.
Yeah.
It's hope.
Wishful thinking.
It's the hope Obama promised us that never came.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's do it again real soon. Maybe before next week. I'll keep you posted.
All right. If not, let's set it so you hear it now because people are watching these after. First, I'll put the link to Stiz, his YouTube. I will force him to do some shorts because listen, each one teach one. I still say that, and you were the one that taught me that. So each one teach one. Now you have more of those things. All right, kid from Chelsea has some street wisdom. I'm gonna get him to do some videos, and then next Thursday, tune in again live. And maybe if Stiz can grace us before then, we'll do it. If not, thank you so much for watching. Stiz, I will catch you next Thursday. If not, hopefully before.
All right, my man. Peace.
Peace. Oh, hey, listen, one last thing. If
Go.
you can send me, if you have that video, this is what I meant to say. The second thing about Cornel West. Do you have that photo of you and him?
Yeah.
Can you text it to me? I want that to be the
I'll find
YouTube.
You know what sucks? At the time, I was trying to grow my hair out, and I look like a complete douche nozzle, and I hate the picture, but I will begrudgingly send it to you.
Thank you. I want that to be the YouTube little thumbnail.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll talk to you. Peace.
Peace.